Rashmi Sawant. Rashmi Sawant, why was it not done earlier if that was the case? And B, he says that this is nothing but sowing the seeds of hatred in the name of religion. Your response?
Well, Madhav, I think every country that was colonized or occupied by forces which were, extremely against native population, in fact, indulged in human rights violations of, native population, all of their traces have been removed from the occupying country. When the Japanese left China, China erased all essence of Japan within China. India is the only country where invaders and, people responsible for gross human rights violations are still glorified. So I think in the spirit of a cohesive society, everybody can get behind the agenda of decolonization. Decolonization is something I think all parties should get behind in a united way. Why it didn't happen 10 years ago? Well, I don't know why it didn't happen 10 years ago, but it's surely happening now. And I think everybody, now that it's happening, people need to get behind it. And I hope that there are more measures as to decolonizing not just roads but also the sort of syllabus that we study in schools, so that this country and its people can get behind the real civilizational heritage of this country and not senselessly glorify people who indulged in gross human rights violations during their time.
अखिलेश कटियार, ये जो डीकॉलोनाइजेशन की प्रोसेस है ये उसी का एक भाग है, और सड़कें ही नहीं, हमारी जो शिक्षा प्रणाली है, जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, उसमें भी डीकॉलोनाइजेशन की जरूरत है. क्या जवाब देंगे आप रश्मि सावंत को?
नहीं, रश्मि सावंत जी का अपना विचार ठीक है. माधव साहब, हमारे नेता माननीय प्रोफेसर राम गोपाल साहब ने भी कहा, ठीक है, आपकी ये अगर मंशा है तो उसका एक प्रक्रिया है. सरकार आपकी है, दिल्ली में भी सरकार आपकी, केंद्र में भी सरकार आपकी, सब जगह सरकार आपकी. एक सिस्टम से कर लीजिए उस काम को, और एक बार में ही कर लो सारा, जहां जहां बदलना है. आज इस समय जो है, इस फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस मची हुई है, लोग तबाह हो गए हैं, जिन लोगों ने इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रखे हैं. उस समय इस तरीके की बातें लाके, और प्रधानमंत्री जी का मामला तो टीवी पे या सोशल मीडिया पे चल ही रहा है, आप इस तरीके की बात करते, भाई किसने मना किया है? आप सत्ता में हैं, आप हर जगह शासन चला रहे, कर लीजिए जो करना है, लेकिन जो जिम्मेदारी का जो दायित्व है आपके, उन्हें भी निर्वाह करते हुए बढ़े आगे. आपको उस डिस्कोर्स को चेंज करना है. सारे न्यूज चैनलों पे कभी हम औरंगजेब पे चर्चा कर रहे हैं, कभी हम तुगलक रोड और फलाने रोड पे चर्चा कर रहे हैं. हम इतनी डिबेट जितनी इन विषयों पे कर रहे हैं, अगर जनता से जुड़े हुए माधव साहब उन सवालों पे भी हम बात करें तो जनता को भी लगेगा कि हम उनके मुद्दे को संबोधित कर रहे हैं, उन मुद्दों पे हम बात कर रहे हैं.
Okay. JVC Shriram, respond to that. It's an attempt to divert, people's attention. Why not talk about development and other bigger issues? Why focus on Aurangzeb, Tughlak, and all these other divisive issues? Is the question coming in from Akhilesh Katiar. Your response?
There are two things, Madhav, which we need to understand. BJP has sought a mandate on development in Haryana based on the progress they had done, and more importantly in Maharashtra, where they faced a tough battle and they just set a tsunami development agenda, and Delhi, where they clearly pointed about the development agenda. 25 crore people have been moved out of poverty, extreme poverty, by this government. 80% rural India has got tap water connections, and which was 15% or 16% in 2019. India is a crowning jewel, is what the World Bank has been saying. And every other country is bullish on India. But unfortunately, unemployed people belonging to Samajwadi Party, who has been unemployed for almost 8 years in the state and more than 11 years in the center, would have to blame this on the government. This government of Modi ji is completely committed towards vikas, development, and at the same time ensuring that the national heritage is restored. Restoration of national heritage. Mr. Sawant, who spoke before me, pointed out very clearly the last vestige of the colonialism should be removed from this nation. And one British author wrote that on 16th of May 2014 in the Sunday Guardian in London, saying that under Narendra Modi, the last vestige of the colonialism would be removed from the history.
Okay, we are short on time, so quick response from everyone. Ravi Srivastav, it's the last vestiges of colonialism that are now being removed in this manner. And that's something that should have happened in 1947 itself, say some of our panelists, including Rashmi and JVC. Your response?
is that in the name of decolonization, you cannot fool the people of the country. What my other co-panelists picked up the issue, the stock market has sunk, the rupee has sunk, there's unemployment, there is inflation, so many problems are there. Instead talking about that, about health, about education, about so many things which are pending before the nation, we are raking up these kind of issues just to divert the attention. Because nobody, आप आस्था के नाम पे देश नहीं चला सकते. देश संविधान से चलेगा, देश कानून से चलेगा. ये कि कृष्णलाल गुर्जर कहते हैं कि मेरी आस्था है स्वामी विवेकानंद में. अरे भाई आस्था है तो आप अपने घर का नाम बदल देंगे. आप सांसद हैं, आपको दूसरों के लिए एक एग्जाम्पल सेट करना चाहिए. और आप डर की वजह से स्वामी विवेकानंद मार्ग और तुगलक लेन दोनों लिख रहे हैं वहां पे बैठ करके. अरे भाई हिम्मत है तो फिर स्वामी विवेकानंद मार्ग ही लिख दो ना उसको. Why you are not changing the name altogether and go in the government and change all the names everywhere? Why do it in the piecemeal basis in the situation where
Rashmi Sawant, quick response. Rashmi Sawant, quick response.
Well, I think, if I may quickly come in, I think if you want a debate on economy, then we should perhaps debate why the economy was stagnated at the 11th and 12th position for decades, and why in the past 10 years the economy has gone from the 11th, 10th largest economy to the 5th largest economy in mere 10 years. So I think all this grandstanding, it leads us nowhere. People know what are the facts of the day and how much progress we've made over 10 years. Decolonization is a separate issue. To mix it with economy is irresponsible, but if you want to bring it to the fore, then we can show how magnanimously, Congress and other parties have messed up for decades before the last 10 years set on.
Okay.
So that being the case, I think decolonization should be a priority. Our future deserves.
I'm sorry I'm interrupting because we're totally out of time. JVC Sriram, Rashmi Sawant, Ravi Srivastava, Akhilesh Katiyar. Certainly, of course, an issue that we're bound to see debate on in coming days as well. Nothing official about it. It's just two nameplates at the moment as far as two members of parliament, one of whom happens to be a central government minister. But will it happen officially speaking? That's certainly a question that comes to mind at this point of time. Slipping into a quick break. More news and updates on the other side.